Welcome to another interesting breakdown. So, I did not plan on making this training, but I just finished talking with old clients of ours who we built acquisition infrastructures for, who are growth agencies. They run a growth agency that partners with info products and they help them scale. They have clients doing 600 grand a month. But one of the things that they felt is that they were stuck, right? And they tried going to coaching, they tried going to build and release. And after the conversation I had with them and the advice that I gave them, so they paid for an hour of my time for me to consult them. And we had such an interesting conversation that I wanted to give you guys a breakdown um, of what we talked about, right? Just to remind you guys, our job or client acquisition dot area's job is not necessarily to sell you information, like I'm eventually going to give this away for free. My goal is to get entrepreneurs who are insanely smart and who have high urgency to implement on the advice and the path I'm sharing, right? Because once you actually go execute this, then we can actually make money together, right? That's why for me this path, even though you can literally build a portfolio of info products doing 50 to 100 million a year, just from the experience you have of growing businesses, even though the idea is great, without execution, this is useless. It's literally on a Google Doc that has no value. Okay. Now, I don't want to break this down. I'm going to share it down the line, so you guys are going to check it out. Okay, so info products, scaling agency, consulting, path to leveraging build and release to $1 million a month in 12 months, right? Again, I'm making this breakdown after getting on a consulting call with an old client who stopped doing done for you growth for info businesses and decided to sell build and release of the infrastructure that we're using to internally scale these info products, right? The purpose of me making this is to give you clarity for anyone who's running an agency where they help, I guess businesses info products scale. Which that done for you agency model caps bottlenecks around 70, 80K a month. Once you're growing, once you're out essentially outgrowing the old team. Once you outgrew that team, you're still gonna start having to feel pain, and you won't really feel like you want to go scale it bigger because it's a lot more pain. Now, this bottleneck here doesn't apply to those who actually get rev share. If you're getting rev share, then you'll probably be able to 3x, 4x this cap. Okay. So this is for those people who are doing done for you, who are already killing it. And then I also want to give clarity to anyone looking to get into the world of scaling info products and show you the journey from 10K a month to 100K a month, all the way to $1 million a month and beyond, right? Now, before we get started, let me give you guys a breakdown of the constraints these clients faced. So they had the old done for you agency, which capped around 80K for them, and the pain to scale the team with proper talent made it painful to scale the biz, right? It's doable, but not necessarily the most leveraged path, right? Then they tried turning it into a coaching business. Problem with this is the fact that they could sell it, but no one would implement the actual advice, which led to a group of clients with no results. So, as an example, if you're just selling coaching or consulting, yes, you can go and market this thing like, oh yeah, I'm going to help you make 100 grand a month with your course business, or hey, I'm going to come in and help you build a community or whatever with your information and your reach, and you can start making 100 grand, 200 grand, 600 grand a month. The marketing and sales isn't the hard part. The hard part is the fact that none of the people you coach the thing on are actually going to get results because without execution, nothing matters. That's why, but what most people don't understand is that when 99% of all your clients don't get results, you end up burning and tarnishing your reputation. Without a good reputation, you will have no business because you can't necessarily change, you can change your company's name, but you can't actually change your name, right? So these are risks that are not worth taking. Like just, it's essentially scamming people involuntarily, right? Giving people coaching and consulting and they don't implement, they'll still blame you, even if what you gave them is the same exact thing that's making you a lot of money and your clients a lot of money. Okay, so they decided to switch to build and release. So if you don't know how we do it, we essentially build and release infrastructures, which is We know the how, the process, and the protocol of how to get someone results, but we also build the infrastructure to implement the process and the protocol. So you can think of it in this case, since they're scaling info products, they probably have a VSL, they have copy frameworks that they use for every ad that they run. They have systems, they have funnels, they have targeting on Meta, or maybe they might be using YouTube. It doesn't matter which channel. So they have proprietary processes, right, that they follow. So you would actually end up building that same infrastructure into the person's business, so you don't end up facing the same problem. Here, you're just consulting them, giving them the how, but here you're also building them the what. So you're building the what that implements the how, right? Now they were able to get to 250K per month. I think they were like they said 260K per month, but now they're averaging around $160,000 a month, right? Now, why did they want to speak with me, even though they're making great money, right? Why would clients, old clients who are killing it, come back to me and be like, "Hey, Serge, here is X thousand for an hour to speak with you. I have a problem," right? The problem here was that lack of clarity when it came to the future of the model, right? How would they take what they're making here and actually turn it into a $1.6 million a month business, as maybe $10 million a month business, right? And the second problem was that they were starting now to start speaking with broke people, right? By the way, I didn't say it, but this is in the French market, right? So these guys are killing it in the French market. These clients are they're not targeting the US market. They're not targeting the English market. That means that if they're doing these numbers in the French market, if you were to do the same thing in the English market, speaking market, you probably could, just by changing the market, turn this into a 500K a month business, right? That's just to show you guys that when you're kind of like pushing infrastructures, it's so easy to actually, make it, even if when you're in a market like that is as small as the French market. Okay. Now they're starting to speak with a lot of broke people, and they're confused as to, do I try to serve broke people? What should I do? Okay. Now, in order for me to solve these problems for them, I had to work on the following. I solved two problems primarily. The first one was positioning. I recommended them to stop selling acquisition infrastructures, aka tactics, and instead I tell them to create a movement, okay? Or at least to align them with a bigger movement. They needed to solve a promise. They needed to solve and promise an even greater transformation. Okay, this is something that's important. If you want to make a lot of money, the money you make is always in proportional to the outcome you're promising. Okay, if you're promising me a VSL that only converts 3 appointments a day, or you're promising me to make 300 grand a day, that same single infrastructure, even though it's the same thing, just to refine, I can charge 30 grand, 300 grand for the other one. I can charge only 300 bucks for the other one. Okay. So it's important to understand that offer positioning is one of the most important thing, right? Something that will make broke people have to refinance their homes to afford the offer. Okay. That was the first thing. Now, what did I suggest? I suggested that this new angle will be something along the lines of the following, okay? Instead of saying, hey, we're going to come in, instead of using old webinars, start using these acquisition infrastructure, which is a kind of like a VSL and their whole process that they've built, I told them, start going to experts, right? And experts, I mean, either consultants, coaches, or actual service provider who know how to solve a problem, right? So anyone who have expertise in a specific field, they need to go broad. And then they need to tell them that, hey, we help experts transition into selling digital products by leveraging our 50K a month infrastructure, right? It could be info product infrastructure or $50,000 a month or $500,000 selling digital products or $500,000 digital infrastructure. It could literally be called that, right? You can put whatever name you want here, okay? And then the perception of the offer now becomes an end-to-end solution and increases the perceived likelihood of success compared to the old growth infrastructure positioning, right? Now, funny enough, this could still be sold because for me, I was selling 50K a month growth infrastructure, appointment setting infrastructures, and I scaled it to 500,000 a month, right? But what killed it even, the reason why I was able to scale even further is because I didn't just sell the actual infrastructure. What I also solved was the thing that came before. I gave people the right thing to sell, then I built them in growth infrastructure, then I helped them, I consulted them on fulfillment, right? This is better positioning because experts aren't marketers. Therefore, they could care less about the ads. They could care less about the targeting. They could even care less about how you structure a VSL. Or if even if the VSL is better than a webinar, they could care less. There's also some people who will say a webinar is better than a VSL. Okay? So they don't care. They just care about what they're experts at, right? If you're selling to marketers, maybe this can work. But when you're going to experts, people who want to sell their information to the masses, they don't know nothing about digital marketing or sales and everything like that. So you do not talk to them the same way you would talk to a marketer. You need to literally just tell them, hey, I'll help you transition from here. I'll just sell you an end-to-end infrastructure, right? That takes care of the actual positioning of your offer, the actual course structure, where you host this course, how you build a community, how you do all that stuff, right? Now, now they do know that so experts do know what they want, right? They want to go from expertise to making money, to make tons of cash from selling it and being free from selling their time. That's really all they want. I want to go from being an expert at something that is uncommoditized, that is unleveraged, to making money without having it associated with my time. That was the first thing that we solved, right? So if they execute on this, I bet that this will perform a lot better than just selling the growth infrastructure. Okay. Now, product line and client journey, right? So we still have the problem of speaking with plenty of unqualified prospects, right? And this will solve that problem. So I just solved the positioning, clarity on how they should sell and how they should position it. The next thing I talked about is how to actually design your client journey so you don't have to worry about this problem. I learned this lesson from working with a sales training company doing $4 million a month. The CMO of the company was reviewing our products and shared the fact that they respected the learning curve of their customers, which is something that I personally wasn't doing at Client Acquisition.io. My mindset was so focused around guaranteeing results and delivering results as fast as possible, so much so that it made us sell infrastructures to anyone and everyone who wanted to buy it, right? People who were nowhere near the place spiritually, skill set wise, team size wise, at the place where they needed to be to get most out of that infrastructure, right? This mistake led us to having clients who failed regardless of how good the infrastructure that we built was, okay? So being so focused on client results and not necessarily respecting the fact that people have a learning curve that they need to go through, the same way that in 2021, when I quit my job, July of 2021, it took me like 5 months to make my first 10K per month, right? Now, it would be crazy for me to go to that same Serge and be like, hey, this is how you will make 500K a month in 2022. That would have been crazy, right? Regardless if it took me 2 years to get to that point, right? So I understood that from working with them, that there are these 3 phases to creating products that they follow. They build something for learning, they build a product for planning, and they build some level of service to help with execution, right? And this is the same thing I personally look at when designing the sales process. So I don't just look at this when designing the product lines, I look at it when designing the sales process, okay? Because if you really think about it, every time you sell someone, you're selling them to become a better client. And a better client is a better person on their own, right? So like the person who has no knowledge is probably less good of a client than someone who's actually executing already. And someone who's planning is less of a good client than someone who's executing, right? And the reason why they're less of a good client is because this person will pay 10 times more than this person will pay, and this person will pay 100 times more than this person will pay to learn, right? So that's why the sales process and the product line do the same thing. They're literally just selling people into becoming better and more valuable people, more valuable enterprises. Okay? So now this is something that you guys need to understand because this will make sense when I show you guys how to structure it. Okay? Now, for this old client, this is how I did it. So the problem with talking with unqualified prospects, if you look at it, I don't actually think this is a problem. This is just something that exists, right? Not everyone in your market is going to be qualified. You shouldn't look at it and see it as a problem. You should see it as just something that is and something that needs to be managed. It's a spectrum, right? It's how qualified are they? It's not that they're not qualified. It's just that they might not be as qualified for a 10K a month product, but they might be qualified for something else, okay? So here's this product structure I suggested. This structure is meant to help unqualified prospects become qualified and get the qualified ones to become better and more valuable clients, okay? We're gonna start with a free community or paid subscription. If you go with a paid subscription, you better have free content on YouTube, okay? Free, I would even say that this is important, this is crucial. You need free content on YouTube. If you do not have content on YouTube, I'm sorry, but you're not going to make it in today's day and age. I promise you that. There are billionaires meeting every Friday to make a podcast, and they've built an audience on YouTube of 400,000 subs. They can go ahead and build a tequila brand. They can go and build a new SaaS. I mean, they're literally building products on top of the brand they're built. So if billionaires are making time to make a YouTube video, what does that mean for you? Okay? So when I keep preaching people to get on YouTube, I literally mean it. So even a lot of people will be like, oh, I don't want to do free shit. I just want to go straight to paid. Okay, well, nobody's going to buy your paid thing because you haven't created a goodwill to make them want to buy your thing. I charge people $49 a week in my free, in my my subscription thing, and we scaled it to $60,000 a month in the first 60 days of doing it. But ain't no way you're gonna make $60,000 a month and build a 700 grand a year business if you did not create insane amounts of goodwill. I spent 3 years on YouTube before I started a $49 a week subscription, and 3 years of work earned me 66 grand a month worth of literally I don't do shit. I literally do one call a week, right? I do 4 calls a month, and I give them access to all the information that I created over the last time. So that means that if we did the math, $66,000 divided by 4, that means that from my paid subscription, I make 16K an hour, right? But it took me 3 years of giving people value before I could make $16,000 an hour, because I literally do 1 hour a week on Sunday, right? So the reason why I'm emphasizing this is because do not go to paid subscription if you don't have people who trust you yet, okay? And if you try to do paid subscription and you advertise to it, it's going to be way too expensive for you to actually scale it. It's literally going to cost you $50,000 a month on ads for you to make 66 grand a month like I would make, okay? Anyway, I just wanted to emphasize that because some people can't think and they want to go straight to trying to charge people, okay? Now, for them, I said, please build a YouTube channel, go heavy on content, and then build a little paid subscription on your school group. And what you want to do is you want to have this community be a group where people learn how to take their expertise and start making 10K a month as someone who sells their expertise in a digital product, okay? So they will dump insights and systems that will help someone start and launch a digital product, show them the systems to scale to 10K a month, right? And then they're going to do what? A breakdown of what the next infrastructure will look like to get to 50K per month, okay? So they might show them, hey, you need to actually get on ads now. You actually need this type of funnel. Oh, you also need now to be able to onboard people, on a one-on-one call. Maybe you need to start charging a little bit more for your course and maybe get into a consulting, coaching type of offer, okay? And then they want to have a CTA, call to action, to get the infrastructure built by them. So I show you how to get to 0 to 10K per month, and I show you what it will look like, what you need to get to 50K per month. Then I'm like, hey, by the way, if you want this built, maybe you're starting to make 5 to 10K per month. I'm selling this for, 15K. Come buy it whenever you're ready. Okay. So this is almost free value. And then this is where we monetize. Now, their second offer will look something like this. Build and release offer, they charge whatever, 15 to 25K for it. And the positioning of this the build and release offer is that it gets the expert who's now figured out how to make some money with his course because they learned how to launch and scale. Now they're going to come here and be like, hey, I need that 10 to 50K a month infrastructure, right? And then this offer, they're going to refine the positioning of this creator who started the thing himself or herself. They're going to build the lead gen system, and then they're going to design the conversion system. By the way, most of these are plug and play, right? So it's like they have data on the best creatives, they have data on the best interests, they have data on the copy frameworks. So you could literally plug and play lead gen systems like 30 a week. You could literally sell 30 build and release of lead gen systems a week. And maybe this is like a 4-week process, 4-week implementation process, right? So week 1, you're solving this. Week 2, you're solving this. Week 3, you're solving this. Week 4, we're solving this. And you can also deal with some fulfillment stuff, right? But what you're going to sell this for is the following. You're going to build these for 15 to 25K, and you're going to sell 10 of them per month, which means that you're making 150K, 250K in revenue per month, okay? And then maybe here, right, maybe you're onboarding maybe like 100 people a month, 100 members per month, right? 100 members per month, 10% convert, that's 10 BNR, right, per month, right? And then here's where things get exciting. And this is where the path gets really exciting for a lot of you guys, right? Once you've built someone the infrastructure, you're like, hey, by the way, if you want to get from 50K a month to 500K a month, I actually have a client who's doing 600 grand a month. So here's the infrastructure that we built for them and how we manage their growth. And then you want to tell them, implement this first infrastructure that I just built you, optimize it, dial it in, right? They can stay in the community, pay monthly to get optimization help. But once they get to 50K per month with the thing you built them here, this is where the game gets exciting. This is where we start talking about big money, okay? This is where you get into partnership or even acquisition. You can start acquiring your own clients or getting a piece of their business, right? This offer is a wealth creation move. It's not created for you to make an extra 100K a month or an extra 300K a month. You're creating it to be able to bring in $1 million to $5 million a month with a small team of like 25 people, okay? In order for you to pull this off, you need like McKinsey level type of talent. And when I say McKinsey, I'm talking about a $10 billion a year company, right? If you think you're going to pull this off with two contractors from India, you're completely confused. Now, I'm not saying in India you can't find great talent. I'm just saying you actually would need to find the top tier talent. It doesn't matter where in the world, but these are people that you probably pay like $250,000 to $1 million a year. Okay? Now, here's how it would work. Top 1 to 5% of all clients you build infrastructures for, okay, should ascend to this partnership offer. Or you can simply acquire their digital business and just keep them as the face of the business and as the teacher, okay? The deal structure will look something like this. You're going to bring in your team of experts. They're going to run marketing. They're going to run sales. They're going to run operations fractionally, okay? It's not like they're the ones actually doing the work every day, but they're almost like a fractional team that every single business that you partner with or acquire gets access to, okay? And in exchange of this value, you take 25% of every single dollar that comes in that business every month, okay? So that means that if these clients that I spoke with today end up implementing on this path, they could go find 25 businesses, right? Help them scale to 250K per month. That's $6.2 million a month in portfolio sales, right? So in like the whole portfolio is bringing in 6.2 million, which is 62.5. Actually, that's not true. That is not true. What is 6 million to 5 times 12? That's actually 75 million, right? Wait, no. 1 second. Yeah, that's $75 million a year, right? Now you're taking 25 to 72, 75 million a year, right? So 25, 7.5 times 0.25. Now this becomes 18.75 million. And this becomes 37.5 million a year that you take home from a portfolio that's bringing in this much cash. Okay? This means that you're taking home this is net, let's not necessarily net, right? Because this might be revenue, but you're bringing in for your own little team, you're bringing in 3,750,000, right? A month, $1,800,000, 875 grand a month to 3.7 million a month, all from giving them access and being partners or acquiring their businesses. Okay? When I talk about leverage, this is what I mean leverage. With a team of, let's say, like 25 people, you can pull this off. Right? Now, you got to be smart. Of course, I just made it easy in a 27-minute presentation, but it's not that easy, right? Now, what's funny is that most of this profit, by the way, most of this is all profit because the subscription community from this first offer here is probably going to be bringing in like a good chunk of money, right? It might be bringing in 500K a year if you want to scale it, because you're also going to run ads to bring more members in it. And then the build and release offer that you're selling here is going to be bringing in like $5 million a year. Just this capital here that you're getting from these first two offers will cover the cost of the talent, okay? And then the cash flow from partnerships is all gravy, right? This is what it would look like. You have a subscription or free value to a subscription. You give them the assets, right? This community maybe brings in 100K to a million a year. Then you sell people here, you sell them an infrastructure, then you charge 10 to 25K plus. Then you bring in $5 to $10 million a year. So this vehicle here, just these two ones here, you can build an 8-figure business around it. But if you want to get to 9 figures, you got to stop working harder and more, and you just got to be more leveraged. You just got to go find other people who are working hard as you, and just get a piece of what they're building. And that's how you can get to building a portfolio of companies, and you just clear millions of dollars every month from a small team, right? Now, do you guys now understand why I'm pushing everyone to do build and release instead of doing something like information or coaching or consulting? Because there's no way in the world that I'm going to give you 25% or 50% of my business because you have gave me good advice. Like, that's crazy. Like, ChatGPT has the advice. Like, it's free. Like, it's free knowledge in a book, right? So that's why for me, people who are trying to do information or sell courses or coaching or consulting, they're actually not necessarily building a competitive edge, because the same people who are watching this can literally go and make a video that I just made right now, and I know some people will. They will literally copy paste this whole presentation and go present it to their own audience, and then their audience will be like, "Oh my God, this person is so smart," right? but they just literally copy pasted my presentation. So that's why, guys, information, coaching, consulting is the lower, it's like it has never had a low barrier of entry as it has today. And if I have to compete with 1 million people sharing the same, yapping about the same things, there's no money there. But if we build the team of sharks here who can build and release actual tangible infrastructures, then we can go to these businesses here who don't have that talent because it's super hard to find people. There's only like 5% of the population on earth that is actually good at something. Everybody else is average. So when you can go and find that 5% and own that in your company, you can go to companies and be like, hey, for you to access my team, I'm going to need a piece of that business, right? That's what I'm trying to get you guys to understand. And this is what's going to change the game for you guys. It's own something that is hard to acquire, right? Because you're not also going to be able to attract them unless you actually have something exciting, okay? Now, the path is really simple. For those who have let's say you're currently watching this video and you have no experience, or you're kind of like have been running an agency, or you've been kind of like, a little bit doing things here left and right, but you don't really have a tangible insight and you haven't necessarily sold it. The path is acquire an insight into how to serve a niche, okay? Learn how to solve a problem. Then you want to sell it as a solution. It could be done for you, it could be whatever, right? You want to do this, you want to jump into growthspecialist.io. It's an incubator where we help people kind of like fast track their scale acquisition, right? We help you find insights and trends to leverage. Then we help you position into a solution. Then you go make money. Once you've made money, then you come into GCP. Then you learn how to sell, build, and release offers to raise capital and to get rich, of course, because you're going to get crazy margins, right? I'm going to show you guys an example of a client right now. This is a client who just made, last month in the first 4 days of the month, it was at 4K. Now he just made 43K in the first 4 days of March. That's 43K in a day. That's literally averaging 40K a day. No, 10K a day, right? But he's not making this money because he's selling like retainers or anything like that, right? He's selling expensive infrastructures that people that a specific market is willing to pay, okay? And he's went through GCP and now he's actually having access to our team. And then once you've mastered this and you're making 100K, $250,000 a month, then what you need to do is exchange talent for a piece of the upside of the business of top tier, right? So you actually need to learn how to acquire talent, then go and partner with all the clients that you have sold the infrastructures to. And here, where we help you actually do this third step is in the hundreds. Okay, so this is where we actually come in, build your talent acquisition, and help you recruit. Okay, if you're in the same position as the client I spoke with today and have figured out how to scale info products, please come and become a partner. Let's help you go through this journey in 12 months or less, and maybe you can be the person who actually scale and build something amazing. But I would love if someone can actually take action on this. That's why I'm sharing it away for free, because I want you guys to actually execute on this. Can someone please pull off this process, this protocol that I just laid out? It's pretty simple, but it's not easy. If you guys ever need help, I have an amazing team where we can help you guys put this all together. Take care. Bye-bye.